You are attending the Unlock Large Assembly Performance with Macros and API. Hi, my name is Alin Vergatu from Javelin Technologies.
Hello everyone, this is Artem Taturevich from Xerial.
Well, let's start. And just to make sure that the next 45 minutes are 100% relevant to you, we compiled 8 statements coming from users of large assemblies. Please read them and report in the chat how many of those resonate with you. If at least one of this, it's something that you have trouble with during the day, or you find that it takes a long time, we have a solution for you in this presentation. Sometimes working with a large assembly feels like climbing a mountain. The good news is that SOLIDWORKS functionality for large assemblies and large drawings has been improved tremendously in the last few releases. So in a way, it can take you almost to the top. If you want to achieve maximum performance, we have good news in this presentation. You can use API tools, macros to maximize this performance. Now, this presentation is not about programming. We're not going to talk about VBA. We're not going to talk about C++. We're just going to show you what is possible and what tools that you probably wanted for a long time, can be made available to SOLIDWORKS users. The two Sherpas of today are Artem Taturevich, the director of Xerial, is a certified SOLIDWORKS champion. SOLIDWORKS actually recognized him as a champion, the most experienced CAD programmer that I had a pleasure to work with. Some of you have already taken advantage of the tools that he developed. I imagine many of you have tried the SharpTask. You might have discovered the CAD Plus suite of tools. And if you are programmers, you probably took advantage of the open code that he publishes on codestack.net. If you go to the SOLIDWORKS forum, on the API section, you're going to find his name pretty much everywhere, usually tied to great solutions. Thank you, Artem, for agreeing to partner with me for this presentation.
Thank you very much, Alin. It's a pleasure to work with you as always. So let me introduce you to the community. Alin Vergatu is a senior problem solver at Javelin Technologies. So he is a guru of SOLIDWORKS and large assembly modeling. He's an author of Large Assembly and Drawing Training Workshop. He has been presenting at SOLIDWORKS World and 3DEXPERIENCE World for 31 times. He's an avid contributor to SOLIDWORKS community, and he's a founder of Power User Challenges. And I was a happy participator of few of those, and even a proud winner of some of those challenges. Thank you,
yeah,
Alin,
I remember
for all
that.
you're doing to the community. Yes.
I remember that. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. When we talk with the users of large assemblies, we hear two major complaints. Either an assembly or a drawing takes a long time to load, or after it is being loaded, there is terrible lag. You click on something and you see the blue circle of death spinning on the screen. So only two complaints. The causes, though, are multiple. You can see here tens of possible causes for slowdown. The good news is that SOLIDWORKS also implemented tens of tools and techniques that can solve specific problems. The takeaway from all of this is that there is no magic bullet, not magic pill for fixing large assemblies and drawings issues. What we need to do is to know how to match the tool with the task that you try to achieve in this moment in time. And we mentioned the fact that SOLIDWORKS has great functionality. Well, we're going to add a few tools. We're going to show you what is possible with API.
So first, we're going to show you how you can improve the experience in large design review using SOLIDWORKS API.
Wow, so you can use macros in large design review mode. That's amazing. Then let's take advantage of these macros to open assemblies, sub-assemblies, drawing and parts instantly.
We're also going to show you how you can edit and view custom properties directly from large design review mode.
Same thing from bill of material, without loading assemblies, without loading drawings, having access to accurate and instant bill of material.
Sometimes up to 80% of the complexity of your assembly may be dedicated to hardware components. In this presentation, we're going to show you a proof of concept product which shows how to replace those components with a lightweight metadata, still preserving the accurate bill of materials.
One of the surest way to improve performance of large assemblies is optimizing components. And many times we use task scheduler and task scheduler-like programs to achieve that. The main challenge is processing these files into a certain order from children to parents. Otherwise, especially for PDM users, you're going to have those rebuild flags attached to your assemblies. We're going to show you how.
As a bonus, we're going to demonstrate how to print or save your drawings to PDF 10 times faster.
Excellent. Before we start talking about all this amazing functionality that we're going to show you, let's focus on the mode that we're going to use most of the times, which is the large design review mode for working with assemblies. And that is because you need just the assembly file to load it. You don't need parts. It just loads the graphics data. It's super fast. And you can do quite a lot of stuff with it. So let's switch to SolidWorks and open an assembly in large design review mode. This is a fairly large assembly. SolidWorks did a great job to allow me to open it in 3 seconds. To maximize your productivity when working in large design review mode, it's important to get into the habit to use the context toolbar. So you click on something, you get the context toolbar, or you can right-click on a component and get the right mouse button menu. Notice one thing though, there is a lag that appears when I select a part or select multiple parts. Notice I click on this and it takes about 2 seconds for this to pop up. And there is a good reason for that. In order to synchronize your selection in the graphics area with what happens in the feature manager tree, SolidWorks is trying to scroll the item into the view. If you want to deselect that mode, you have to do 4 clicks. First of all, system settings, feature manager, turn off scroll selected item into view, and click OK, wait another 5 seconds, and do that again if you want to switch back. Now, the advantage is clear. I can select things really fast. Right mouse button menu also works fast. That being said, sometimes I still need to see what component I selected into the feature manager. So in order to save those 4 clicks, I created a macro. I'm very proud of myself. I'm not really a programmer. And I added to the assembly toolbar. I should have created 2 macros, actually, one to turn on the option and one to turn it off. But Artem, to my surprise, when I click on this, nothing happens. Looks like all the tools in any other toolbar other than the large design review toolbar are not working. Is there a way to add a custom button in this mode?
Yeah, Alan, you are correct. There is currently a limitation in SolidWorks user interface. However, fortunately, you can do this from SolidWorks API. And I already pre-installed a tool on your machine, so you can go to Toolbar Plus into your menu. And I already emailed you a file with a custom macros. Furthermore, with that tool, you can create a single file which hosts all these macros as a group. So please just browse to that macro file.
Okay, this is where I saved the file. You emailed it to me. And what do I see? What is this?
So this is just a group which will correspond to toolbar in your SolidWorks menu. And these are like 3 macros, which I'm going to guide you through soon.
So for me as a user, this would be 3 buttons, I imagine, right? Let's
Exactly
see what
right.
happens. So right now I should have a regular toolbar, like a regular SolidWorks toolbar, and I can see it right here, Large Assembly and Drawings. Let me dock it wherever I want, maybe over there. And don't tell me which one it is. I'm just going to go by the icons. They seem pretty intuitive. I think this is the one. Scroll selected item into view. So let's see if it works. I clicked on it. I select something. I now see that lag, but the component gets highlighted in the feature manager. Let's see if I can deselect this. Looks like is this a toggle button?
Yes, exactly.
Wow. So now if I click on this, for example, I'm going in turbo mode without scrolling things into view. That's fantastic. So you can add toggles using API.
Yes, it's exactly correct. So you can improve your user experience by using toggle buttons in your menu and toolbar.
Excellent. So I already see several advantages. Let's take a look at the takeaways from this part of the demonstration.
Yeah, so basically the main takeaways is you can run SolidWorks macros and API from large design review mode. You can create a custom toolbar buttons, including the toggles. And also you can instantly share your macros with the colleagues in your organizations. So whenever you update your macros toolset, all colleagues will have the same toolbar.
Well, the last one, it's really a good piece of news for my customers who are engineering managers. They like to have the whole team working consistently and having pretty much the same interface on their computers. Let's move on to the most requested enhancement request that comes from users of large assemblies, which is opening files instantaneous. You already know I can open any assembly fast in large design review mode, but if I go to one of its sub-assemblies from here, I have only two options to load it. One is fully resolved. The other one is lightweight. Imagine what? I would like to be able to open it also in large design review mode. What should I do, Artem?
Yeah, it actually makes perfect sense. And the second macro on your toolbar can do just that. Furthermore, you can actually pre-select multiple sub-assemblies or parts to open them in large design review or view only modes correspondingly.
This is spectacular. So I was able to open one sub-assembly really fast. What you're saying is that I can select multiple sub-assemblies.
Exactly.
So let's say all these 4 sub-assemblies. And then if I go here, I'm not touching anything. One assembly open, 2, 3, 4. And I can see here, all of them are done in large design review mode. This is fantastic. Okay, let's return to the top level assembly. And I'm going to show you why I'm so excited about this tool. Imagine that I want to edit the top level assembly and also a sub-assembly. So I'm going to pick up this sub-assembly. I'm going to open it in large design review mode. New in SOLIDWORKS 2019 and vastly improved in 21 is the ability to edit an assembly in this mode. So imagine I don't really load anything. I just get the graphic images of the files, a reference geometry, mates, and also I have now the ability to insert a new component. So I have over here a ladder subassembly. And you can see I can insert it in here. I'm going to mate it. Okay, so I did my magic. You can see the part, it's already mated. The mates are here. Now, the cool thing about this is that I can now save this change, and the save is very, very fast. It's almost instantaneous. And because SOLIDWORKS knows that I'm using this in another assembly, I can actually update the representation of the new assembly. So now, returning to the top level, what you see here is the ladder added in the top level. Now, I need to do one more thing. I need to also edit this assembly. And now the assembly is ready for saving. So allow me to switch it back to ISO view, maybe zoom to this level, hit the save button. And I just did in seconds a major change. So your tool saved me a ton of time, even for editing purposes. Now, let's try another thing. I'm going to open this assembly again, so it's not going to be in editing mode. And we're going to try to open drawings really fast. Now, the company that created this, they have multiple drawings attached to one assembly. So for example, this major assembly has 2 drawings. One is called 107878-BOM for the bill of material, and the other one is dash fabrication. They are not even in the same folder of this. So one of the major problems we have is trying to find the drawings. Now, I can open this in large design review mode really fast. What I would like is a little button that allows me to open any drawings that are using this assembly.
Yes, Alan, the last button in your toolbar does just that. So furthermore, you can select multiple sub-assemblies to open the drawings in the detailing mode. But what is important, the drawings not necessarily need to follow the name of its original component and can be in any subfolder from the original folder.
So I don't know if you noticed, I opened actually 2 different drawings. Let's actually tile this file so you can see. This is the original main assembly. Remember, I selected this subassembly. This is the name. And I was able to find the one that has _BOM actually in the name. It's just one sheet. The other one has actually about 12 different sheets. And I was able to open this instantaneous. Now, allow me to take a moment to show you why I'm so excited about the detailing mode. It doesn't require the loading of the assembly. It loads only the drawing entities. So I can add dimensions. And in 2021, I can even add secondary views like detail views, crop views, break views. You can see right now, let's put a brand new view here, which is really just a magnifying version of this area. Let's add a few dimensions. So you see how fast I can do that? It's unbelievable. Let's add a dimension between these 2 holes. Even more, let's figure out if SOLIDWORKS identifies this as a as a whole. So I'm going to add the whole callout here. And guess what? The job is done. I can hit save and my drawing saves now. So Artem, I think you just unlock a piece of functionality that a lot of users will require. By the way, have you noticed how fast I saved the 12 sheet drawing? It took about 2 seconds to complete the save.
Pretty amazing, Alan.
Let's take a look at the takeaway for this section.
So basically what we just shown to you, that you can instantly open sub-assemblies, parts, and drawings from large design review modes. And furthermore, you can find the drawings not based on their names, but based on the real reference.
Okay, let's talk custom properties. A nightmare for any engineer. We hate data entry. So we open assemblies fast in large design review mode. How do we read the properties of components? Now, out of the box, SolidWorks gives you this button, component properties. I click on it and I see the component description. It's good, but I know there are lots of other properties associated to this part. And another one, just let's make things even more complicated. What if I want to select all these 4 parts and I want to read all their properties? What should I do?
It's actually a very good challenge, Alan. It actually reminds me of one of your power user challenges. So let's solve it here. SolidWorks provides a great set of libraries allowing you to instantly pull and push a metadata from the files. So you can actually apply that in the large design review mode. So if you navigate to the grid command under the properties plus menu, you will see that all the properties from the selected components are loaded instantly in the grid, and you can modify them and write them back.
You know what? Let's test that. So I'm going to go to the description of 107.705, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to add revision 1, even though probably nobody puts revision in the description. And then I imagine I just have to click OK, right?
Yeah, I just want to point your attention that you have a small pencil icon next to the property, which indicates that this property has been modified. And when you click green tick, it's going to be written back to the file.
Well, let's test that. I'm going to open this part in its own window. That's the one where I add revision 1 to the description. Let's check the description. And I can see revision 1 has been added, so it worked. Now, okay, now let me make it really hard for you, Artem. I want a list of all the custom properties for all the components of the assembly. How do I do that?
Yes, you can do that as well, Alan. So if you just navigate to the properties plus menu again, and there is a checkbox allowing you to instantly load all of the components.
So I imagine it's this one. I think it's going to take an hour or so, right?
You're actually going to be very surprised with the performance. It's only going to take a couple of seconds.
What? This part has thousands of components. Are you?
Yep.
Wow. And they're all of them. I can see the description. I can see material. Does it mean that I can actually go here and start changing stuff?
Of course you can.
Oh, same thing. Look at that. What about stock number right here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. So now if I click OK, only this part has its property updated because I can see the pencil. You see, I can learn fast. And it was fast.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
It is pretty fast. In fact, you can modify thousands of components in a matter of seconds.
That's unbelievable. Now, I already stated that I like to work in the graphics area, so I'm a big fan of context toolbars. Guess what? All these buttons can be added to the context toolbar. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you the end result. Okay, so let's try. I select a component, and you can see in the context toolbar, I have now the grid. I can see its properties. I can open its drawings in detailing mode, and I can open an assembly in large design review mode, or if it's a very complex part, using this button, it's going to open it in quick view mode. This is fantastic. Let's take a look at the takeaways.
So as a takeaways, you are able to instantly read and write custom properties in configuration, file, or cut list.
Talking about custom properties takes us directly to using them in bill of materials. In large design review mode, I don't really have a button that will allow me to see a bill of material unless it's already inserted in the graphics area. So Artem, do you mind if I ask you to share your screen and tell us what we can do to get an accurate bill of material from the assembly?
Yes, Alan, of course you can export bill of materials from that assembly. Let me show you how you can do that. So I have this assembly loaded in large design review mode, and I'm just going to navigate to that button, which allows me to extract bill of materials from this assembly using SOLIDWORKS API. And what is important, I do not need to load this assembly. So you can see here's my bill of materials. Now I can simply export it to something like Excel or XML and send it to your ERP department.
What if a user doesn't have SOLIDWORKS installed? They just have the SOLIDWORKS files.
It's a very good question, Alan. You can access that functionality directly from Windows File Explorer. And furthermore, you don't even need to have SOLIDWORKS installed on that machine to use it. So let me show you. Now you can select Assembly, click right mouse button, click Bill of Materials Plus, and it's going to pop up exact same interface which you just saw in SOLIDWORKS. And I can also export it from here.
This is very exciting, I imagine, for a lot of users. What are the takeaways?
Yes, you can view a BOM instantly from SOLIDWORKS assembly opened in large design review mode, and you can also access the same functionality directly from Windows File Explorer without the need to having SOLIDWORKS installed on that system.
That's fantastic. Okay, so this one, it's a big one. Getting rid of all those fine details that are slowing us down from nuts and bolts, washers, hardware in general. Usually in an assembly, the hardware might take anywhere between 50% to 99% of the graphics complexity. As you can see here, I have 3 components, all of them are nuts and bolts. If I go into the assembly visualization and I'm simply showing the 3 biggest contributors to the graphic complexity, you can see that somebody downloaded nuts and bolts from McMaster card and used them the way they are. Now, I can tell you one thing, Artem. My assembly is so big that nuts and bolts are not really visible at this scale, but I still want to have them in the bill of material. Is it possible to get rid of them, but still somehow maintain the correct quantity, the correct description, and even their location in the assembly? Let me invite you to share your screen.
Yes, Alan, it's another very interesting challenge here. And let me show you another proof of concept product, which is possible using SOLIDWORKS API. So here I just took a subassembly from your model, and I have the same hardware components. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to suppress those components for a second. And I already have a few selection sets just to simplify the demo, which actually allocates the holes where those components were. So let me now go to this button called Insert Item. And what I can do here, I can associate a custom metadata with those holes. And what is more important, I can then pull that from your bill of materials. So let me demonstrate that. Let me select the first set, and I'm going to add 2 hardware components here. So a nut, I'm just going to pin that, click OK, and screw, and click OK. So as you may notice, there is nothing appears in the Feature Manager tree. However, those components appears in another Feature Manager tree. So you can inspect them over here. So let me quickly continue and insert another components. So I will select this one. I'm going to select this screw, and I select the last set, and I'm going to select this nut. Now, if I exit that page, I can activate the tab, and you can see here's my components. Furthermore, I can navigate through them, and this callout shows me information about that component. I can do multi-select if I want to quickly inspect what metadata is here. But what is more important, I can pull that information into my bill of materials instantly. And even more, if I would save that part, and if I would open the parent assembly, I will be able to pull that information from the parent assembly as well. So here's my 3 hardware components with the correct quantities. But as you can see, there is no hardware components in there, while my bill of materials is still accurate. And lastly, let me show you the comparison between the original assembly and modified assembly. So I'm just going to show this one, where I put 2 components alongside each other. I'm just going to activate the assembly visualization tool, which has a total graphics triangles set up. And as you can see, the original assembly has about 100 times more triangles than this one.
Wow, that's a game changer for many SOLIDWORKS users. Let's take a look at the takeaways.
We have demonstrated to you how you can drastically simplify your assembly by removing large number of components along with their mates, which results in reducing the number of triangles, but still preserving the accurate bill of materials.
Two more things, very exciting. First of all, using a software that is similar to Task Scheduler, in this case is Batch Plus. I'm trying to process all the files from this folder. I'm going to try to make sure that they have a consistent image quality setting of 10%. But what is important is the order of processing. I would like to start with the parts and then the sub-assemblies and the next level sub-assemblies all the way to the top. Do I need to select anything special from all these settings, Artem?
No, Alan, it's all out of the box, so you can just go ahead and click Run Job. And now what is going to happen, Batch Plus is going to analyze all of the dependencies of your inputs and going to bring you the dialog where you can select the right order of processing.
Wow, so I have the list of files, quite a lot of files in this folder. And what options do I have here? I can start with the children, I can start with the parents, or I can just work with the top level components. That is exactly what I need. I wanted to start with the children. So not, let's just do it for 2-3 parts. I want to see what's going to happen. Okay, so I can see kind of SOLIDWORKS, open each file on its own, drop the image quality to 10%, saves, moves on. That's fantastic. Let's stop this and just take a look at another use of this software.
We have demonstrated how APIs can be used to sort files in the logical order based on the dependencies to gain the maximum benefit of batch processing operation.
Excellent. This is a game changer for users of PDM. The last item on our list, let's put a cherry on the cake. And this is dedicated to users of large drawings, especially when at the end of the project, you need to print all the drawings for the whole job. Well, guess what? I actually have a job here and I have tons of drawings in this folder. I have an empty PDF folder and I would like to populate it with PDFs of those drawings. So let's run Batch Plus. And I have here a job that has been already prepared. I'm going to run a macro called save to PDF. This is the folder. Now, I want to save time in processing. I don't want this to take hours. So Artem, I would like to take advantage of the fact that drawings can be opened in detailing mode and then save to PDF or printed. Can I do that through API?
Yes, of course you can. And you can do this through this tool as well. So if you go to Settings tab here, you can activate the Rapid toggle under the File Options group. And this will allow you to open drawings in the detailing mode. If you would select assemblies, they will be opened in the Large Design Review mode.
That's very exciting. Any other magic buttons here that can save me time?
So what I would also recommend to activate is a save and background options in the startup group. So this will ensure that SOLIDWORKS will be run in the background without any add-ins loaded, which will drastically improve the performance.
Excellent. Let's run the job. And now I'm going to wait. And to my surprise, the order of operations applies also to drawings. So you know what, let's start from the top down. Let's go parent to children. So the most complex files are going to be processed first. Okay, I'm going to press OK. Let's see what happens. SOLIDWORKS is going to be loaded and it's somewhere there in the background. I can see it here. SOLIDWORKS loads now right now. And you can see here the sheet number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh my God. Look at that. It cycles through all these sheets. So the PDF folder, and I already have 7 items, and this should be pretty big. Let's see what's inside. Okay, so sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, 4. Looks like I have all of them. And it works so nice. A pleasure. And it's still going. 47 drawings. I think we're going to be ready faster than I can drink a coffee. Yeah. That's pretty fantastic, Artem. Let's go through the last takeaway. Really, there is nothing here other than the fact that we can give you the answer to your demands. You wanted to print drawings fast or save to PDF. We have it. Thank you very much for attending our presentation. These are the 7 improvements to the large assembly and drawing functionality that can be achieved through API that we just demonstrated. And I think there is much more in the pipeline, correct, Artem?
Yeah, this is correct.
So let's see if you have any questions. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.